Hello and welcome to another video on this channel, and today we're going to talk about the perfect framing for your photos. So if you follow my channel, you know that I like to print my photos and that I also like to sell prints of my photos. And I have a complete set of videos where I talk about preparation of prints, the papers I like to use, and also all around soft proofing and hard proofing. So I invest a lot of time in getting the perfect prints for my photos with perfect color, perfect detail. So while this process is very important to have your photos look great when you put them on the wall, a good frame is equally important, because if you get a cheap frame, then what often happens, you also get cheap glass, and this cheap glass often casts quite a reflection. So even if you stand directly in front of the frame, you see usually a lot of yourself and the photo only a bit behind that reflection. So there are different types of glass, and there are some which are quite expensive, which are called Artglass, and those glasses are anti-reflective and they allow you to, it appears like there isn't any glass in front of the image. And here's an example where I have such a glass, and it makes a huge difference, because with cheap glass and cheap frames, what will happen, you spend a lot of time, a lot of money on getting the perfect prints, and then you put some cheap glass in front of it, a cheap frame around it, and you lose colors or color intensity, color accuracy. The details usually are less pronounced, and all the work you put into getting this perfect print, you basically cast it aside with the last step, with the framing of the print. So this is why I now put in the time to finally find a solution that works for me, and also a solution that I can recommend to others. For example, if someone buys a print on my homepage, I also want to give some advice what frames he or she should get to perfectly represent the photos. So this frame here, I just got it and quickly framed one of my hand prints here. This is from Halbe Rahmen. It's a German manufacturer, and they have a very good principle for framing prints. So typically when you frame prints, it's kind of top down. So you turn it around, you have the frame, you put the glass, then you mount the image on the passepartout, put it in, and then the plate comes on top. So all this process is top down. It's very susceptible to dust getting in, and also you don't see if dust went in until you then turn around the image and look. And for me, I'm an amateur when it comes to framing prints. I usually need like 2 or 3 tries until I get it perfectly clean, so constantly wiping away some minor dust spots. So even if you're in a dust-free environment, there's usually 1 or 2 particles creeping in, and you see them if they're behind the glass just around the passepartout, or if you have a very bright image, and it's pretty annoying. So with Halbe Rahmen, I'll show you in a second, it's different. You are framing top down because they use magnetic frames. So you can basically sandwich your photos, your passepartout and the glass top down. I show you how this is done because it's also a very quick process. So it takes much less time because you don't have to loosen any holders for the backplate or something. It's very simple, and also it holds the image very well in place. So I didn't apply any tape. It's just the pressure from this outer frame on the glass and the passepartout that keeps the image in place. So it's very simple, as I'll show you in a second. Now let me quickly show you the reflection. So this is Artglass 70 anti-reflective. It's quite expensive, but as you'll see in a second, wait a second, first of all, I don't want my desk going down. So as you'll see, it's worth it, because if I now turn this around, you'll see there is a bit of a reflection on the glass, but that's because there's actually a window directly behind the camera. So typically you would see a very heavy reflection, and here it's just a tiny bit. And this is also just, if I put it at an angle, so this is great, because if you stand directly in front of the image, all you see is the image, and it's like there isn't any glass. So if you're in a room, for example, where you don't have a window directly behind the image, usually you don't see the glass at all. And that's ideal for framing such a photo, because what you want to see just the image and not your reflection or the reflection of some window or something. Okay, so now after this introduction, I want to show you how framing with a Halbe frame works. So here's the image. I had to put it on the floor to be able to film, so it's also not the most ideal, the most dust-free environment, but yeah, I try to manage. So I have here a little rocket blower to blow away dust, and if I see it, and also some cloth to clean the glass from my fingerprints, because I don't have gloves, so it would be ideal if I had some soft gloves to do this. But yeah, I'm gonna manage. As I said, I'm an amateur when it comes to framing. I also realized I misspoke before. I called both mounting processes just top down. So the standard one, I'd say, is reverse top down, because you have to turn around the image, and this is forward top down because you always see the image and can better align it. So I hope to not get too much into the way, but let's start. So the first step is this outer part of a frame. Let's move this aside. This is magnetic, so to remove it, I have to press here a bit, and that's how easy it is to get this out of the way. And also you see here, you see the parts that will be magnetic and will hold everything in place. So now you don't actually see it, but there's actually still glass in front of the image. And we're gonna now move this out of the way. So here at the sides, you can get beneath the glass, and you have to be very careful because, as I said, this is expensive. So the good thing is now the part that is on top of the image is always facing downward. And that's a big advantage to the other way of framing, because it's much less likely that dust will now stick on this side of the glass. Okay, so now finally we have the image and the passepartout. And you see, I didn't even have to basically tape the image or mount the image to the passepartout. I just put the image onto the back plate here. Then I put the passepartout, and also I really should wear gloves, or at least you have to clean your hands very well, so you won't have any spots on the passepartout. The good thing is now, what I want to show you, when I summer prints or print, I always leave some 1 centimeter area around the image, which then allows to hold everything in place behind the passepartout. So that's important. And now, since you're framing top down, forward order, you can, or you could move around the image to perfectly align with the passepartout. You always see it, so it's very simple. So I already did before, and later just the pressure of the glass on the passepartout will hold everything in place, so no tape required. Okay, now let's just move in the glass again. You also see how easy this is. I could now switch images every few months if I wanted. So now I have a very high quality frame. Maybe I have a few images which I want to switch out a bit. Can totally do that. So let me see if I don't have any dust, and get back in the glass. So you just want to be careful not to have any prints on the underside of the glass. Top side I can clean later, example here. So that's fine. And now also next advantage to the other way of framing, I directly see if I have any spots between glass and passepartout here. For the other way of framing, I would now have to first finish the mounting, then turn around, and then I would see the problems. And also it's great, I moved the glass in front of the image, and it looks like there wasn't any glass in front of it. Okay, so now finally just put in again the magnetic outer part of the frame. So this fits very well. It's holding everything in place, so the magnets are strong enough, and yeah, that's how you mount an image on a Halbe frame. That's how easy it is. So let me also show you the back plate, so you see how you can mount it on the wall. So everything's there, everything you need, enough holes. You will need screws. This frame is not very light, so it's well made, robust, and it weighs, I'm not sure what exactly, you can check the homepage of Halbe, but a nail in the wall will not do it. So you should at least get, for this one here, it's a 24-inch image and a 28-inch frame. I'd say you should get at least 2 screws into the wall. So if you're now also interested in getting a Halbe frame, you can head to their homepage where they have all the information about the different types of frames they have, about different styles, also about the glasses. They even have a little video where they show how the glasses compare in terms of reflection, so that's pretty educational. So I watched it, and after seeing it, my decision was made. I wanted to invest the money into getting Artglass. So it can, depending on the size of the frame, you get nearly double the price getting Artglass versus normal glass. But yeah, you have to decide. So it's, in my opinion, it's worth it, because that's the only way to really have your framed images look perfect. So they have a configurator, you can get through it, check. They have different sizes, also pretty large sizes. So I think standard sizes are up to 1 meter, and then they have special sizes going beyond that even. The frames are not cheap if you compare them to low quality products, but in terms of high quality products, I think prices are pretty reasonable. Also, if you want to get Artglass, I think it doesn't matter where you buy, it will always be expensive. And because of this magnetic framing and also the way the frames are made, so it just speaks high quality, I can fully recommend getting such a Halbe frame. So they deliver around Europe, not outside of Europe. So if you're outside of Europe, also want to get some perfect framing, I would at least also check that you get frames with proper glass. So that, I think, is the least you can do to have your photos look perfect. And if you're in Germany or Europe, I would consider Halbe frames, and I also recommend them for people buying prints on my shop. So if you don't photograph yourself and want to get a nice high quality print, check out my shop. I sell my prints without a frame, and you can decide which frame, but now you know what I would recommend. So I hope you liked this video, found it interesting, and see you in the next one. Bye.